Oh, there he is. There he is. Yay. Okay. I'm just resizing some of my windows. Okay, here we go. my God. Okay, well done. Fat man, take a bow. So, again, this is not a new thing that I'm going to say, but time and time again, we have people who are more than ready to start either self-releasing, sending stuff to record labels, getting stuff on the show, whatever it is, whatever is your next step in your journey as a producer. And again, Fat Man is another one of those people, aka Hatmn, who was really, really unsure whether or not to send in anything. And like, I consider him a friend now. Like, he's been part of my streams for many years. And he's always very, we always talk about music. We always talk about hi-hats. We always, discuss music. And, I know on a deeper level, he has a very good understanding of music and has a good ear for it. And I'm just really pleased that you have now took that leap of faith, trusted this channel, trusted this show to be there for you in a productive and positive way, not in a toxic positivity way either, but in a realistic and helpful way. Hi, Josh. Because this is exactly where, what's the saying? This is where little acorns grow into great big oak trees. And I'm sure Richie will find something hilarious to add to that comment. Yeah. Oh, so he says, yeah, totally hit me with the critiques. Isn't it? It's such a... I would have never have wanted critique. Like, you got to be at a certain place with yourself, I think, mentally, in order to be able to accept any critique. And yeah, well done for even just saying that. I remember for a number of years, probably about 10 years ago, I was so up in my feels about anything. Like, if you said anything negative about anything that I was trying to do music wise, I would have took it as an insult to me. So yeah, well done for that as well. But yeah, I am just really, really proud of you for just putting yourself out there. Let this be a lesson to anyone else who's just watching the show and is making music and hasn't yet sent anything in. Please feel like safe that you can do that, and no one is gonna laugh at you. No one's gonna say anything shitty towards you or your music. I wouldn't stand for it. It's a very sensitive place, and I don't mean that you can't deal with it or whatever. I just won't have it. I just think there's no point to that. We don't really have that. We never have any of that. So I probably don't need to give it as much focus or attention as I am in the last 30 seconds. But yeah, take negative feedback as positive criticism. Exactly, Chris. Again, there's a difference between someone saying, oh, that's shit, and actually giving you a constructive breakdown of why it is shit. But if they were going to say, if they were going to do that, they wouldn't call it shit. They would give you the constructive criticism. It's only people who can't really do what we do that will say that. And they're only coming from a place of their tastes and their own perspective of what's good, what isn't. That's not what the point of making music is. The whole point of making music is to be able to see outside of your perception. Is art in general, isn't it? It's the interpretation of it, I guess. So I'll start. I wish I introduced that final arpeggio that appears towards the end a little earlier. No, well, I'll get into this now then. I actually disagree, because I thought that it was building. So it's 6 minutes 45 seconds long. It's a decent size. It's a decent size. But it needs that, and a lot. I saw a lot of people were saying over and over again, you know, the progressive aspect of this, or I would play this in a prog set, blah blah blah. Yeah, it was a nice surprise at the end. It didn't feel like it jumped out at us. It felt like it was building towards something, and I think it needed that to come in later on because of on account of the fact that it is 6 minutes 45 minutes long, 45 seconds long. You need to have something that is building on that. So it would have been very boring without. I wouldn't say it would be very boring without it, but you would have had to probably make it a shorter track, definitely, if it didn't continue. You know, because it would be a bit like if you were writing a chapter in a book and then you just kept going on about the bit just before the climatic thing happened for ages and ages and ages and ages and ages and ages before the end of that chapter. So it would kind of be a little bit like that, but you didn't. You continued on your on the journey of it in terms of it being a track and not a chapter in a book. If that made any sense. Hello, paleontologist. Yeah, so I thought that was perfect. I also really liked the mix down. I liked everything about this in terms of how it sounded sonically. It sounded nice and heavy. It sounded nice and clean. Yeah, I wouldn't change anything of it. I actually really just liked it as it was. And the reason why I know that that's true is because I could just listen to it without anything niggling at me. There was nothing for me to do other than just enjoy the noises. Enjoy the noises running through my head. Enjoy the noises instead of something else instead. Yeah, I was enjoying the noises. Yeah. I enjoyed the blips and the bloops. I enjoyed the hats, especially. And it was just, you could tell you've put a lot of time and effort into it because there are a lot of textures in there. There were a lot of like ping pong delay, little one shots in there that I wasn't expecting. But blended in really nicely. And those are the kinds of things that go in later on in a track's development. So you got like 2 types of tracks, roughly. Well, probably 3. You got ones that are just like bish bash bosh, that'll do. Me and Guy were listening to some in the car on the way to our gig at the weekend, and we were proper slagging off this playlist on Spotify. And he was like, do you know what it sounds like? I said, what? He goes, sounds like these tracks were made for an album and the album's called That'll Do. So you get those kinds of tunes where it's like bare minimum, done, that'll do. And then you get the next layer of tracks where you can just tell when someone's left it for a number of weeks, maybe months, and then gone back and revisited it, listened to it on freshers. You really can tell. There is a big jump up in everything to do with the track between that and that next, probably in the same way, because they're all interlinked. In the same way as if you see someone who's done a sketch, right? They've padded something else and they've done a sketch. And then you'd see like the next, and to the untrained eye, you'd be like, oh, that's wicked, that's done. But like, no. Then comes like the shading, the contrast, maybe if it's a colour sketch, then that goes in there as well. That kind of thing. Hi, Brazil. So, and then that's like the same as tracks, of this level, that I can see a lot more work's gone into it. And maybe part of that is the little bit of anxiety that you have that it's not good enough yet, in a good way. But the big point is that you finished it. So well done. You finished it. You got to a stage with it where you're like, okay, cool. Okay, that's done now. I need to move on to something else. So yeah, and that in itself is a feat to get to that point. So yeah, I am really proud of you. Well done. Katie, I haven't thrown you on the dance floor. What are you doing with my life? Oh my God. Okay, and everyone, please go and follow Hatmn. There's his SoundCloud. Dance floor. There we go. I have to do that every single time now. Next up. Who's here? Do we have Lemonchill? Is Lemonchill in yet? Lemonchill. Planning a 4-track release by the end of the year. Nice. Yeah, do it. Dare ya. Dare you. Yeah, Lemonchill's here. Okay, this is a cool tune. This is called Ojos Azules. Here we go. Oh my God, Lemonchill. I can't even look at you right now. That was just amazing. That's my favourite one that you've sent in now. Yeah, that's my favourite. So good. So good. JLF says, not something I'd normally listen to, but really enjoyed that. Isn't that the thing, though? That's why I love doing this show, because I know I would never normally be introduced or exposed to this kind of music. And I don't mean this, I mean all of it. Because you just wouldn't be, would you? And I'm really grateful for that. Really grateful for that, because that was beautiful. Beautiful. So many wonderful textures in there. A good remembering of why you don't need to just keep putting loops and loops and loops over the top of each other. You know, like you can do when you're dance music orientated or when you're hard dance orientated. You kind of forget that this kind of music exists if you're not really exposed to it. But yeah, a really good example of how using certain processing, certain plugins can give these awesome effects. We were just having a little chat in the chat. I was saying to Fatman about using Fruity Convolver or any convolution reverb on Fully Wet, and using like the pink noise, the white noise impulses for like really cool blur effects, you know, to make, because Fat Man was on about how would you like make something sound like that but not be a loop but still be repeating, and that would probably be one of the ways that I would do it, or using home filters, dub echoes, that kind of thing, and then just automating that and recording it in, you know, and then you get these really cool effects that you can then use as textures, use as like a kind of like a setting for your track. But yeah, awesome ideas in there, Lemonchill. Really, really nice progression in there. Really nice piano-y sounds, almost like the sounds that you'd get from, there's a genre called color bass, which uses, I believe, spectral synthesis, which is something that I'm very interested in. It's quite difficult to do spectral synthesis on account of the fact that you just need to move something a tiny little bit and it completely changes the sound of things. But it almost sounded like that. So like color bass is almost like, even though I think that may have been a piano, this effect with spectral synthesis sounds almost like water droplets. It's a really cool noise, and it almost sounded like that. So I don't know if that's what you were doing there, or if it was just if it was a piano or whatever. But it just gave me that kind of feeling of that, of like water cascading, waterfalls. You know, it put me in that kind of mindset. So yeah, and yeah, Fat Man was saying that it reminded him of a Sasha album. So amazing! Yay! So proud of you. And guys, make sure you go and follow Lemonchill, please. Do as you're told. Next up, who else is in the chat? We've got JLF in the house. JLF's done a track called Goodfella. Yep. He is a good fella as well. But he's a jolly good fella. He's a jolly good fella. Is that where it's from? I don't know. You decide. I get really weird when I'm tired. I just start being really weird. I do apologise. I know I'm always weird, but you know what I mean. It's just going to be amplified today, so deal with it. Okay, here we go. This is JLF and Goodfella.
here to fucking amuse you. Fucking amuse you. You're funny. Funny like I'm a clown. He's a big boy. He knows what he said. What'd you say? Right. Funny how? What? You're funny. You mean? So? Let me understand this, because maybe it's me. I'm a little fucked up, maybe. But I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown. I amuse you. I make you laugh. I'm here to fucking amuse you. What do you mean funny? Funny how? How am I funny? You know how you tell a story? What? Funny how? Funny like I'm a clown. How the fuck am I funny? What the fuck is so funny about me? Tell me.
Honestly, tonight you guys are just killing it. This is awesome. Awesome. Again, probably one of your best ones, Josh. Yeah. Out soon on Faculty One. Yeah, it suits that label as well. Like it's got that power and that groove and that kind of relentless forward energy, hard houseness to it. I really like it. Hello, Paranormal Ceazar. Yeah, we haven't played yours yet. Don't worry. Don't worry, sweetheart. Yeah, good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, JLF, mate. Made it because Dave says he wanted to put some hard house out. What, our Dave? Oh, Dave Bosky. Oh, of course, yeah, because that's his label, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm glad. I'm glad because it's, yeah, do you know, isn't it weird? Sometimes you just need someone else to give you a bit of direction, don't you? I'm like that. Even though I don't always want to be around people, or I think I don't want to be around people when I'm making music, like 10 times out of 10, I always end up finishing the track and getting something good down because of having the other person kind of guide the studio session. You know what I mean? You know, when you're making the track, like it's different when I go to someone else's studio and they're like in the driving seat, like because it's just a given that they'll get it sorted out. But I also get that as well if people are with me as well. But yeah, I think that's what's happened here. Then JLF is, you know, someone's given you the kind of prompt of what you need, what they want, and then it kind of like takes a lot of the initial guesswork out of the equation. I definitely understand that. He played it at the weekend as well. It went down pretty well. Of course, it will do. It's again very very layered. Lots of things going on in there. Great hoovers, great energy to it. Like someone else said, it was very clean. I can hear every element in it. I can hear the vocal. I know what the vocal's saying. And again, that can be something that can make or break a track is if you just have that vocal set back a little bit too much. I think it was Heads Up, my friend Jazz Heads Up, who's a bounce producer, and he was saying that he'd made a track and I think he'd set it too wide, so on a loud system, literally the vocal would like just fall away from the track and you couldn't hear it. So you know, it's those are the kinds of things that I look out for. Is if I can hear what's going, if I can hear the words in the vocal. Otherwise, what's the point in having the vocal in there? But yeah, everything worked really well. Always cool to see people dancing to your track. I know, right? So cool, isn't it? You've got a few under your belt now. You've got a few under your belt. But yeah, please keep bringing them to the show and making them because they're great. They're great. You always do something a little bit different as well, which I like. Yeah, everyone go and follow DJ JLF, please. Oh, no, anytime, anything for you, mate. You know that. You're awesome. Yeah. So make sure you go and give JLF a follow, guys. Really, really good. And I wouldn't change anything about it at all. Great question and answering in there. Really nice arrangement. Everything sounded well mixed down. Nailed it. You know, it's been my biggest upgrade recently in the studio that I didn't ever think I would have needed or it wouldn't have made a difference, and that was getting a sub. I've got a sub now, got a Mackie sub under my desk. And when I'm making, I do have to kind of sit back. My triangle for my monitors and my sub is like here. So I kind of have to sit back a little bit when I'm listening to everything properly. But I really, really am enjoying having a sub in here. I think it's very helpful for me. It's on all the time. It's not like it needs to be turned off or anything like that, or it could cloud my judgment. It's all well balanced, but it does make a lot of difference. Batman says, I've been messing with the stereo separation on the mixer a lot lately. Take almost everything to fully merged before adding effects. Ooh, okay. Okay, cool. Before adding effect. I mean, I guess the effects will then give you... What the fuck was that? God. Ah! That just fell out the ceiling. Look. It's a nail. Oh my God. And it's right over that side of the room. How's it fallen this way? Weird. I might have to get the white sage out in a bit. I have got a screw loose, literally. The power of Christ compels you. I did, yeah. Nailed it. Yeah, so stereo separation or lack of. What did you say you were doing? You were merging. Yeah. Yeah, well, give it a go. Give it a go. The best thing that I recommend, something I do, is I use Voxengo span on my master, and then I just check for any phase issues. Yeah, because the thing is, when you add in the effect afterwards, then that then becomes like where you can actually there probably have more control over your stereo field. But yeah, enjoy having a mess around. It's the only way you're gonna know. Like that would be the worst thing ever, is if you just listen to what I say or listen to what anyone else says or listen to any random YouTube tutorial on telling you that's the best way to do things, or you should not do X, Y, and Z. You have to know why something works and why something doesn't work, because when you know why it doesn't work, you'll also know why it does work. And then even if you don't use a certain practice, if you don't use, for example, the stereo separation or merging channels for that particular thing, at least you know it exists and you know what it does, and it can be useful for some things. Yeah. A/B everything. A/B everything. Reference everything. Check again. Render stuff down. Bounce it down. Listen to it separately. Make sure when you're doing things like that, you're gain staging as well. So the things are the same volume. So that your ears aren't deceiving you, but absolutely always do things like that. But yeah, something like Voxengo span I find useful for stuff I might not be able to hear. And something kind of related to what you were saying, Fatman, but maybe not, is reversing the polarity of samples. Does anyone else do that? You know, especially for when you're doing like layers of hats, layers of kicks. Do not cross the beams. I love that. Wasn't it a fucking game changer when you worked that one out? Or when you get told, yeah, oh my God, it really helped me so much, because it made me not feel stupid anymore. And retrig, you know, on layers for bass lines and things like that. Why were things getting lost in the mix? What was I doing? And then like you learn about reversing the polarity of the waveform, and like it just made everything like better again. I mean, obviously that works both ways, but I need to my back. But yeah, again, you wouldn't know that unless you went and started clicking on stuff. And where is it? Oh, there it is. Oh, if you didn't go clicking on stuff and, you know, trying out things and then comparing it. Really, really important. So yeah, nice one. JLF, again, well done, mate. Awesome tune, and keep them coming. And once again, go and give JLF a follow. Thank you very much. Chris Nycon is in. Get yours on. Here we go. This is called You Smokin' Something.
y'all doing here?
We're smoking reefer. And you don't want no part of this shit. We're smoking reefer. And you don't want no part of this shit.
I don't want to overdose on it.
You can't OD on it.
It's not going to make me want to have sex, is it?
It makes sex even better.
Sounds kind of expensive.
It's the cheapest drug there is. You don't want it.
I think I kind of want it.
Okay, but just this once. Come on in. You don't want this. Get out of here. Want this. Get out of here.
Wow. Wow. Chris Nycon, take a bow, mate. Take a bow. Yeah, this was awesome. This was really awesome. Where was the vocal from? Yeah, I'd play that as well. Walk Hard. Is that where it's from? What's Walk Hard? Is that the name of the... name? Oh, it's a movie. Okay, Walk Hard. But it is it him? It is him. It's the guy who I thought it was. It's it's Steve Brule. Yeah, I was kind of right. Oh my god. I'm so proud of myself. Oh my god, it was his voice. Yes. Do you know what? I have that thing where it's, you know, when you can't remember who someone is because you can't remember people's faces. But I always remember voices. I can tell straight away if something has been resung or, you know, that kind of thing. Oh, I'm really pleased that I got it right. Yeah. Yeah, I always remember voices. Always, but not faces. Not faces. Only voices. I mean, it kind of makes sense, really, doesn't it? That's what I'm attuned to, is listening to things. So yeah, that's so cool. And Chris, this is a great track. I will say one thing though, and I think Lemonchill maybe picked up on this as well. There is you just need a little bit. I would say you just need a little bit of processing on that vocal, a little bit, just to set it in the mix a little bit of reverb, maybe a little bit of delay, but definitely a little bit of reverb, just to kind of like blend it in a little bit. It was a bit, but then again, I also liked that about it because it's got that side trance element to it. But it would be something that I would want to just because it will sound more polished and finished if you just had it treated, like in terms of like with reverb, in the terms of the overall track. We need to think about each of our instruments as being in this same room. And that's why years ago, what we would do was we'd have all of our percussive elements go into a send and return, which would have before computers could just you could have like a reverb on every channel. You would send it, wouldn't you, to an insert, and then you'd have that as you'd have like one, which was like a short reverb, like a little plate. Then you'd have like maybe a larger plate, or you'd have a room and then a plate and then like a hall reverb. And that would be so that you could like place stuff and it would sound like it was all in the same room. So at the moment, that vocal doesn't sound like it's in the same room. So like our ears will be like, oh, that's kind of like sticking out to me as being odd because the rest of it kind of isn't in from the same place kind of thing. Which can also be a good thing to do that. That can also be an effect in itself, like having something with a wash of reverb and then like completely bring it out and bring it dry before you punch into something else. Yeah, like that can also be an effect in itself as well. But I would say in this instance, for that particular scenario, stick a bit of reverb on it. Yeah, but I loved it. I loved the idea of it. It was really fun. I'd dirty up the vocal a bit with some tape or something. Yes, yeah. Don't be frightened of doing that because that's from a film, so it's going to be as clean can be, depending on how you've extracted it. But it sounded very, very clean. Yeah, you could definitely mess it up a bit as well. I know I can be sometimes a little bit like worried about over processing vocals, but you just do it parallel, and then you've still got part of that dry, the dry signal there as well, and just a little bit of messing it up maybe, but yeah, other than that, and it's such a small thing. It was really, really lovely. What else was I going to say about it? It reminded me of Renegade System tracks and newer Will Atkinson, and maybe a bit of Indecent Noise as well. Those kinds of artists. It reminded me of that. So, yeah, Fatman loves it as well. Yeah, it was very, very, very high quality piece of music. Yeah, you should be really, really proud of yourself, mate, because honestly, it's brilliant. That's probably why going back and just tweaking that vocal would be quite important, because it's ready to go to a label or it's ready for you to release it, in my opinion. So, yeah. It's not mastered yet. Oh, it's going to... Awesome. Awesome. If it's sounding like that before it's being mastered, then that's great. And that's what we all need to remember. We must never use mastering as that'll do. We don't want to have our music put into Guyver's make-believe album of that'll do. We want it to be as good as you can get it before you send it off to be mastered. Or if you indeed do your own mastering. Because at that point, it's going to be even better. We'll fix it in mastering. Well, yeah, this is the thing, isn't it? It's how much can you really fix when it's just a one WAV file, you know? Unless you're sending over stems. Fatman says mine's not mastered either. Wow. Yeah, well, it's no master compressor either. Good. That's awesome. That is awesome. That is really, really good. I'd love to hear what that sounds like once you get it mastered. And again, like the mastering, it's a subjective thing, isn't it? Do we need to have things mastered? I quite like to get something mastered when I'm done with it, because it kind of puts an end to it. Because I'll be like, okay, this is the mastered one. I'm not going to go back to version final, this one V2. You know, this is the one that I've paid for to get mastered, so that's it. It's done with, and I can move on with my life, quite frankly. But yeah, Chris, well done. Next up, we have got Damien, aka DJS, who has had a whole entire album on my label Transport Digital. And did you miss the shout to where you could get that track? Is it let me just give you his thingamabob again. SoundCloud. There's the SoundCloud. I think it will be on there. I don't think it was a private link, but I might be wrong. But go and follow him anyway. Yay! So DJS has done a remix of Thingamabob. You all know Thingamabob. Interstellar theme, Hans Zimmer. There we go. Thingamabob. Are there any songs called Thingamabob? Hang on. Are there any? I daren't look at what my Google history is for all of the questions that I ask Google. Are there any songs called Thinga Me Bob? Question mark. Yes, there are several songs with the title including or sounding like Thingamabob, such as Thingamabob by Bob Alexander, Thingamabob by Tweaks and David Flynn, and The Thingamabob by Gracie Fields. The spelling varies, and some songs use Thingamabob to refer to a general unidentified object or creature, as seen in the children's book The Thingamabob, and on The Masked Singer. I didn't know that. Where we go. Thingamabob, that's what I thought as well. Thingamabob. Oh, God. Okay. Be sensible. Okay, this is DJS remix of Hans Zimmer Interstellar theme. Yeah, we will have a track called Thingamabob, don't worry. I'm going to put it in my Google Docs now.
isn't something we invented. It's observable, powerful. It has to mean something.
Love has meaning. Yes, social utility, social bonding, child rearing.
We love people who have died. Where's the social utility in that?
None.
Maybe it means something more, something we can't yet understand. Maybe it's some evidence, some artifact of a higher dimension that we can't consciously perceive. I'm drawn across the universe to someone I haven't seen in a decade, who I know is probably dead. Love is the one thing we're capable of perceiving that transcends dimensions of time and space. Maybe we should trust that, even if we can't understand it yet.
There we go. That is Interstellar Theme by Thingamabob. What's his name? Where's my notes? Hans Zimmer. DJS remix. What did you guys think? Yeah, I live an intro and outro bass line that's not on the root note of the song. That is a pure tech trance thing, that. I was talking to Guy about that in the car. I really appreciate that as well because it gives it a lift and it makes it interesting. Yeah. Simply awesome, says Richie B. Just awesome. Yep. Really, really nice. I would like to know, actually, Damien, how many different VSTs, how many different synths were used in that, because it was very layered. And what I loved about it was I could hear every layer. And you had a lot of movement. We had a nice phaser going over one of them. Yeah, at least 8. There we go. Really, really nice. And they all worked so well with each other. And that's something that is important to remember is, don't forget. Oh, why does my brain do it? My brain thinks it's funny, right? When I say something like, it's important to remember, and then my brain goes, I'm going to make you forget it, so you look like a cunt. I knew it was going to do it, and it did it. I did it to myself. It did it to me. Oh, come on. You know that meme of the lad on a bike, and then he puts the stick in the spokes, in between the spokes of the bike wheel? That's me. Oh. Okay, what was I going to say? It's important to remember that work through it. When you're using different synths, that there is some kind of movement in there. So we're either talking layering, because I noticed in some areas of it, we then had a nice octave layer, and it wasn't the same sound. It was slightly different, but it melded really well. Melted, whatever, really well with the other layers. And then if you're not going to do that, then you have to have some kind of movement, because if it's static, melded was right. Thank you. It's really hard today. The ADHD is like, I have like this little thing on my shoulder at the moment. Maybe this is why this has just fallen out of the ceiling and been visited by non-physical entities, and they're messing with my energy. Oh, they won't win. Oh, I'll work through it. Okay. But yeah, I do think that that's important, because when you're using them over a long amount of time as well, I think it's like every 16 bars you want to have something either coming in or being taken away. Or certainly you want some kind of movement, some kind of evolving of the sound. Anyone that's been doing music production for a while will remember how groundbreaking it was when you started to use automation. So, and also even now, you know, when you're making a track and you're still in your 16 bars, 4 bars, 8 bars little area, and you're just going through, getting all your sounds together and stuff. When you start to then go into arrangement mode, and then you start to put in the automation, because if you do it too soon, you know you're going to change it, because you can change the arrangement, and you might change the minimum, maximum, you know, and you know, but when you're committed to the sounds that you've got and you know that they're going in there, maybe done a mix down at that point, then you start to put in the automation, how much that changes the overall feel, even down to just the transitional filter elements. You know, it makes all of the difference. Hi, Sam. You had an MOT. Oh, adulting. Yeah, it makes me so happy, because it can take, it's in the same way that going from, you know, again, that initial 8 bar, 16 bar loop phase of the session to putting in my effects, just putting in the cymbal crashes and maybe putting in my snare rolls, and then having the automation in there. That to me brings it all together, and that's what I can hear in Tina says, what's it like getting to the arrangement part? Mate, don't ask me. Well, you can ask me, but yeah, do you know what? I did it yesterday. I did it yesterday because I put my phone away. I turned it off all day. And I'm doing a remix for Tidy at the moment, and I got to arrangement stage and got through the breakdown and all the way to the drop in 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours. So it is possible, but you just have to not be distracted by yourself. Work through it. I know. And it was all because I turned my freaking phone off. I have such a phone addiction. Honestly, I could have started this stream at 5. I was ready at 5, but then I started answering messages, and then I got stuck on a doom scroll of YouTube shorts. I do have an addiction to my phone, and that's why I love doing this, and I love doing my live streams, because it takes me the fuck away from my phone for a bit. It's terrible. But yeah, yesterday was a good day. It's something that I'm really aware of, and I don't like being addicted to anything. I don't like needing to have something external to me to feel okay. So what's had to happen now is the phone's had to go for at least 6 hours a day. And I've honestly, production's just obviously gone through the roof. Like, it's stupid. I mean, I do lots anyway, but I know I leak energy. Imagine, like, you know how energetic I am. I know I'm energetic. Imagine how energetic I'm going to be now that this thing is not going to be around me. Ah! It's crazy, because when we all say, I haven't got enough time. Yes, you do. You just don't realise you're absent-mindedly doing it. You're watching TV, you just sat there, you just doom scrolling. Yes, you do have enough time. Unless you're really, really busy, like you're a nurse or something. In that case, I'm sorry, you probably are very, very busy. It's probably, all right for me to say that for my position. But I do think that all of us can improve our workflow by just being aware of how often you're on your phone. So obviously be on your phone for this show. Don't switch your phones off yet. We can do it tomorrow. Yeah, go and follow Damien, please. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say to you on this, darling, was about the textures that you're using, and the intricacy of all of these different synths that you're using. This isn't something that, I know for you, you're very much someone that can just create stuff, and you do it often. And I'm so in awe of that. I think that it's wonderful. Yeah, you do. You enjoy it. You enjoy the process. I wonder if that's because you are just so... Because I don't struggle with DJing, so that's the only way that I can relate to this. I don't struggle with DJing, and I love doing that. I find it like it's like breathing. Comes so naturally. So I don't struggle, so I don't get agitated with it, or I don't get annoyed at myself or frustrated. But I do when it comes to music production. There are aspects of it where I can sometimes be like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I don't know what to do now. And I'll have to sit there and really think about it, or go away from it for a bit. And, then you get a kind of like an anxiety around finishing stuff. But I know with you don't suffer from that. But it is literally, you do need to just push through that. But it's wonderful to be around someone like you who, can just do these things so easily. Guy's the same. Like, being around Guy is an amazing experience. Guy's also done an Interstellar themed track on his last album as well. So it's a very, isn't it cool that, like, that Interstellar theme, it is what it is, but you can apply it, you can do your own. Everyone's like, there are so many people who hear that and like, I could put my own take on that. And that's and it still sound like yours. But yeah, it's awesome. It is really awesome. And of course, for those of you that don't know, DJS is a music teacher as well, and works in country music bands. But his real passion lies in making trance music, which is why he's here, which is why I signed his last album to one of my record labels. Yeah, all about the trance. And also, yeah, Guys done one. What was it now? Which one was it? Was it the actual theme tune to the album? I'll have to send it to you. I played it the other day. Sunday, I got drunk with my mother-in-law. Her fault. All her fault. But yeah, remind me and I'll send it over to you. And we're going to play my latest track today. Stick around, you won't regret it. Yeah, I am going to. I'll find it now. Yeah, well done, mate. Control 4. And this is called Broly. Not Broly, because it's not double L, it's one L. What's one L? Broly? What does it mean, though? What does it mean? I don't understand. Because you're Canadian, aren't you? It's a DBS character. What's that? Do I need to know? I don't need another hyperfocus. Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, don't think that's for me. Okay, we're safe. It's fine. Do you know what else is really weird? I haven't played Genshin Impact for 3 days. I hope I'm not going off it. Oh, God. No, but then again, if I'm not playing that, I could be making music. Oh! Right, let's just play this tune. Make a choice. Okay, music.
Raleigh is not a man. He is a force of nature. Raleigh, the storm in human form. Raleigh.
Oh my goodness, May. That is Brolly, Control 4. This one came out effortlessly. Yeah, I really like it. I personally, and this is just I will, if I played this in a set, I would speed it up. I would speed it up, and I might even take the snare out. And my reason for doing that would be because I think that having a snare on the 2 and the 4 can sometimes slow a track down. Yeah, it's 138. And I know that that's the point of your version of it is to have that kind of groove to it. But I could hear a version of this at the speed of like 150 psytrance that I live playing, with that kind of like relentless forward motion. And it would work in that category as well. So yeah. Yes. Exactly. And I love that. I love how, you know, when you listen to something that you can imagine it in a completely different context. So yeah. Amber, let it flow and be what it is. Yeah. I will. Thank you. Thanks for that. Find out cool Easter egg. It's in D. Like Amber D. Is it in D? Brilliant. Yeah, one of the things that I really love about psytrance is the little inflections in the bass line when you're kind of expecting it, because a lot of psytrance does that. In fact, it's kind of like a stylistic point of psytrance. But whenever it happens, it just fills me with joy. Every time. But if it happened all the time, it wouldn't be as joyful. Yeah, the pull and the push. Oh, I love that. Love that. Yeah, you're right. There it is. Tension and release. And I'm sure Richie B will have something to say on that. Yeah, and especially with psytrance, it is, if you play with those, you got it. Yeah, exactly. And the processing, using effects in a clever way, because it's very stripped back, but there's lots of great ideas in that. I loved all of the sounds, the textures. Really, really nice. What better way? Exactly, Richie. Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. So the Broly thing is about a character from Dragon Ball Z then. Geek! Such a geek. Yeah, I love it. I think it's awesome. I wouldn't expect anything less from you though. And if you guys don't know, actually, I'll just remind you, Control 4 also has a YouTube, not YouTube, I don't know, you might have a YouTube actually, but also live streams on Twitch and helps people with their music production. So from a different perspective to mine, in a more kind of like detailed sound design way in a lot of ways. So and I would really recommend that you go and follow him if you are a music producer, or indeed are just interested in talking about music production, or even just lurking and just soaking it all in. It's always good to be around, and you know, just you pick up stuff. You know, you always pick up stuff along the way. When I know a lot of you guys aren't necessarily music producers, but you know, you listen to the show and you'll pick up bits and pieces along the way. There you go. I can help you sculpt kicks and bass very well. There you go. That's a reason in itself. But yeah, make sure you go and follow him. I loved it. Loved it. I thought it was awesome. Yeah. Well done. Fun. Yay! Yeah, make sure you do, Sam. Sam's track's next. I'll get back to you soon, Sam, about the track on my label as well. The kids are back to school soon, so things will be a little more chilled, and I'll be able to get the next set of my releases sorted out. Yeah, my kids are at school in the morning. Wife is clueless what to do. No one knows what to do. No one knows what they just. They'd be fine. They're just going back to school. We just made sure that they've got some shoes. They've got some socks. They've got the blazers. They've got the shirts. I actually was really organised with the school thing. I got all of that sorted out about 2 weeks ago. All of their shirts, just so I didn't have to even think about it today. All their stuff's washed and ready to go. It has been for ages. So it's their life. They need to make sure they get themselves up in the morning. Actually, that's Guy's job. Guy's brilliant. Guy gets them up because Guy gets up early. So he gets them up for school. So I don't even need to shout at my kids. It's awesome. But yeah, I'm going to miss them, I really do miss not having them around when they're at school. And I mean that. I absolutely do mean that. They're not under my feet. I think because they're a little bit older and they do go out and they're a bit more autonomous. When they were younger, it can get a bit much. It can get a little bit when you're ready for a bit of a break, and you send them off to school or nursery or whatever. But yeah, I do enjoy being around my kids. I think they're cool. Does Guy get them up because he doesn't like you shouting? Actually, do you know what? Interestingly, it's the other way around. He shouts, not in a bad way, not in a scary way, but I don't shout. I used to be a very angry person when I was younger. But yeah, it's weird. I very rarely shout at the kids. If I have shouted at them, it's really quick, and it shocks them because they're not expecting it. But Guy gets a little bit annoyed at them sometimes. Guy's more of the disciplinarian, and that's a good thing because it allows me to be more of the fun parent. If I need to step in, I will. I don't let them run a muck, as they say. He doesn't shout like a sergeant major. No. We both were brought up with his dad and my stepdad were both very shouty, and it's not nice. It's not nice feeling when you're a kid to be around shouting. But he definitely, if he's trying to get them up in the morning, he will eventually he'll shout. But it wouldn't be the first. If I hear shouting in the house, there's definitely some shit's gone down. Because it's not normal. It wouldn't be normal to hear that. I know in some people's houses it's like, Stacey, what you know? But we're even to the point where we won't shout each other up the stairs and stuff. So, if we need someone, we'll walk to their room, knock on the door, and speak to them. We won't shout round the house. So yeah. So it's quite respectful in that way, which I think's nicer. I think when you come from a family of shouty people, when you're a kid, it's I can't be arsed with that shit. I didn't like it growing up. When you get that feeling in your tummy when you and you're like, oh shit, I can't be arsed with that. No. But if I do hear shouting, I'm so resolved from that now that I'm like, oh, what's kicked up? I'm not oh no. It's more oh, someone's in trouble. But yeah, it's nice. Yeah, it is a lot more zen. It's nice. Especially, I think, if you guys will know this, if you're being creative, it's difficult to be creative. I know some people could probably be creative in chaos, and that may even be, something that is probably, as an artist, even something that you can work with energetically. But I'd find it difficult. Would you? If you had shouting in the house, would you be able to concentrate on making a tune? Because it's loud anyway when you're making a track. If I'm like just hearing like intermittent shouting, it would make me be like, it would, I don't know, I think it would pull me out of being able to be creative. So we're very respectful of that being, it raises cortisol. Yes. Yeah, it does. So it's about resetting your nervous system, getting yourself back to being, Oh my goodness, Colin. Thank you. Thank you for the raid. I hope you had a really good stream. And tight clothes as well raises cortisol. Oh, wow. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you, Colin. I hope you had a good stream. Sounds like you've set a good house culture. I think so, Fatman, and thank you for saying that. I think so. I think we've got it down to I mean, obviously everyone has like the moments and stuff, but you need to, if you want to be creative, or if you work from home, it's really important to nip things in the bud when there's issues there. But yeah, Kelly, thank you for 49 months with Prime. That's awesome. And yeah, once again, thank you very much, Colin, for that raid. Welcome in, raiders. You have joined us on the demo drop. We're just talking about stress levels and, being creative in a stressful environment, and whether or not you guys can actually do that or not. But yeah, for me, I don't think... Now, when I was a kid, I was bullied very, very badly. I don't know if any of you guys were the same. If you had a bad childhood and I was bullied, didn't have a good home life. My mum was getting beaten up by my stepdad. There was a lot of drinking alcohol and things like that. So I actually found in that stress, my solace was computers and music. So yeah, maybe in a way, but maybe because I went through that, that's why now, as an adult, and being able to control the environment in which I am in, I would choose peace over chaos in order to be creative. Good example earlier as well. Me and India have just had our monthly day out. I call it Mummy and Me Day. So every month I'll take one of my twins out, just one of them, and have undivided attention with them. So today it was India. We went bowling. We went to Nando's. She's just split up with her boyfriend last night. So she's been absolutely heartbroken. I got a smile out of her once. It was quite an awkward day, actually, because she was very, very quiet. But I just let her be herself in that moment. And then on the way back, we're in the car, and I was like, okay, you can put your music on. So we're listening to like some Lewis Capaldi song, like some heartbreak song or whatever. I'm like, why the fuck are you doing this to yourself? I didn't say that, but like, how like teenagers and the teenage angst, and they just split up with the other half, and they're listening to songs about heartbreak. And I'm like, I would not be doing that. I would be like listening to hardcore or something. Or bounce, whatever, like the opposite of that. And then this guy in a car, like I was in, it's 2 lanes, right? Normal road, 2 lanes. And we're coming to a set of traffic lights for a pedestrian crossing. I'm going about 40 miles an hour, and I'm in the right-hand lane. And we're in the UK, so the slow lane is on the left and the overtaking lane is on the right. I go back into the left lane, and then I have to like apply the brakes somewhat quickly. And then in my rear view mirror, I see someone like going really, really fast. To my left, like not like really fast, but like I could gauge that he's going to have to now put his anchors on, because I'm stopping. I'm not going through the red light for him. I'm merging back into the left-hand lane, and he was about to just undertake me and then continue through this red light. So I kind of like I'm a good driver. I drive all the time. I could kind of like see that was the energy of what this person was doing. So I go into the left lane anyway, but I'm over halfway. So if he was going to continue to try and move through, because it could have been someone who's nicked a car and doesn't give a shit, but it wasn't. So I could have come back again. But in my head, I was like, no, fuck you. Like, no, I'm going to stop. I'm going to be in the correct lane, and you are going too fast. So I move over to the left-hand side. He has to put his anchors on, and then he goes from the lane where he is into the right lane, into the right-hand side lane, comes up right next to me and starts beeping his horn like, rah, 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 fuck you, fuck you. Not even that, it was like that. I just looked at him and absolutely pissed myself laughing, which made it even worse for this bloke. It made it even worse for him. But the point of this story, it got to him more. If you ever want to really piss someone off, right, don't get angry at them. Don't beep your horn. Don't shout at them. Just look at them. I started off just looking like, what are you doing? Like, just smiling at him. And then he would, fuck you. And then Indy's like, oh, I'm getting my fucking phone out for this. And then I started literally belly laughing at him. Like, and then he speeds off. And then, you know, I just knew this was going to happen as well. He speeds off, and then there's another set of traffic lights. And then, we had to see me again at the next set of traffic lights. And I'm still looking at him like, just shaking my head like, what are you doing? It's honestly, it's my point of saying all of that is, don't ever let anyone else disturb your peace. Really important, you know, on the road. Even my cortisol levels didn't rise. I didn't get out of the car feeling like I used to. That kind of interaction years ago would have probably, even though I knew I was in the right, I would still be like, well, I didn't. But I remember feeling like completely fine about it. You know, I was just like, what an idiot. But yeah, just don't let anyone disturb your peace, because it's really important as a music producer, in a car, wherever it is, don't feed into it. But yeah, it was just really, it was like, wow. But I'm really glad that happened, and I'm glad that India saw how I dealt with it. Yeah, careful doing that on the road laughing at someone, yeah. Yeah, probably. It was just, I don't know what was going on in his life, but oh my God, like, it was a nice car as well. It's kind of like one of those things where you think, wow, I don't know. I do wish him well, but yeah, what a dickhead. But yeah. Next up, we have got Sam Gifford. Hi, Alfonso. Yeah, Sam Gifford, and this track's called Tonight. Okay, here we go. Okay, Sam, really strong track here. I really like this. I will say you've used the come on fill a little bit too frequently in it. That's the only thing that was sticking out to me as being too much. I like that fill and I like hearing it in tracks, but I usually only hear it either once or maybe maximum of 2 times. And I would use it in at the point of I would use it in the fill where something really significant is about to happen. So that would be the drop or the beginning of when the bass line comes in. Or both. Yeah, before the drop and then also near the beginning where the bass line comes in, along with the riser and the snare roll. That's all I could think of. The snare was a little bit boxy, ever so slightly, but I think that could just be a levels thing. I think it might just been a little bit loud but it was fine. It wasn't like something like majorly thingy. But the vocal's so nice. And your kick and bass is gorgeous. Really, really nice. A really lovely progression. And I don't know how I'd place this in terms of like what kind of genre it is. But it's like that really cool. You gave the snare too much sausage fat in there, huh? Maybe it might just be just because it's loud, and it's just the first bit that stuck out to me. It was just the first hit. So having a gradient automation of either a volume envelope or a high pass filter, maybe, just to kind of like gradually bring it in. Just having either automate the volume up, or if it's in a pattern in a piano roll, just change the velocity a little bit more. So it's a little bit lower on those first hits. That's all that was needed. It didn't stick out to me as being wrong after that point, so it's fine. Why do you miss it? Have I still got sausage fat now? Why were me and Guy talking about it the other day? We were talking about sausage fattener the other day. I think I was just going to make like a track just using loads of them. But not even make a track, obviously, like, like the whole meme thing of like 6 sausage fatteners on everything. Why was I going to do that? I think it was that. And then do you remember the Dalai Lama? That was it. We were talking about the Dalai Lama plugin. That was by Dada Life as well. You've gone legit. Oh, okay, cool. I never got it when I got Endless Smile. Endless Smile's good. You can tell when someone's used Endless Smile, though. Not that that's a bad thing. It doesn't matter. Like, the people who know that you've used Endless Smile in a track are probably not the people buying your track. So it doesn't matter. Or listening to it. So it doesn't matter. Second greatest plugin after Endless Smile. Yeah. There was a Dalai Lama. Do you not remember it? Do you guys not remember this app? This plugin? And it would make everything sound like me and Guy were talking about. Let me just go and find it for you. You've got to check it out. Singing Monk, KVR audio. Oh, I thought it was thingy. Oh, hang on. Dalai Lama plugin by Audio Nerds. I thought for some reason I had a weird thing that it was a Dada Life one. Make your computer sound and look like a singing Tibetan monk. Dalai Lama is the first software synthesizer that features both vocal synthesis and a real-time 3D animated interface. Is that the one? Yeah. Someone's put, like when there's comments, someone's put, this plugin is awesome. This plugin is not useless at all if you know how to mix it in a track. Hello. Hey. Say hello to everyone. No. Did we have a nice day today? It was nice, here. Wasn't it? Yeah. You feel a bit better now?
No.
No, you will, promise. Love you.
Bye, guys.
Aww. Oh, I love you too. You're always my favourite. No, I don't need a wee, it's fine. Love you. Aww. She wasn't just randomly asking me if I needed a wee. She was going for a bath, basically, so she didn't want me going into the bathroom. She offered to take a wee for you. Do you know what they said to me the other day? They're like, God, Mum, all you ever do is wee. Like, I'm like, what? Because I've had my kidney thing. I drink a lot of water. So like, and I have it drilled into me every time we leave the house. What do you do before you leave the house? You go and have a piss, don't you? Like, it's sensible. That's what I do. Yeah, we're over 40, exactly. Come on. I have had it drilled into me from a young age. Like, you have a wee, but these kids, they don't get it. Like, they won't do that. They'll go out. I mean, not now, because I insist that they go. Even though I don't need a wee, don't need. I'll just do it. But they don't understand that. Like, you get in the car, and then like if it's a longer journey, like anything over an hour, I need a wee now. I'm like, I'm not like, and you can't not stop. Can you? So, yeah, but magic wee before you leave the house. Thank you. So, yeah. So, yeah, the Dalai Lama, this plugin, I can't believe some of you don't know about it. I'm going to drop you the link in the chat. There you go. But, yeah, they'll understand when they get older. They'll get it. Is it free? I'm not sure. Hang on a second. Download. Yeah, that's the one. Okay. Yeah, you can download it for free. But it is really cool. It is really cool. But yeah, I just wanted to talk to you about that because me and Guy were talking about it, about making a track using it. Where were we anyway? Okay, so we've just listened to Sam's track, haven't we? So yeah, like I say, Sam, I really, really do like this track. I love the vocal in it. I love what you've done with it. Just take out some of the come-ons. Just need 2 of them maybe in there. But that's all I can really say on it. Really, really good effort. A really nice arrangement as well. I did like the arrangement of it. So yeah, thank you for sending it in. Yay! Can someone Discord it? I can do that. I can do that while we're listening to the next song. I'll put it on my Discord in the general chat. Next up, the Ruff Mate and Klingmaster, and this is called May I.
May I please have this dance? opportunity meets chance, where purpose meets a plan. This is a new life, a new way, a new possibility, a new day. So, may I please have this dance? May I please have this dance?
Awesome. Klingmaster and the Ruff, May I. This is my favourite one. I really like the way that you had this ARP, that arpeggiated synth, staying on that root note and allowing the rest of the track to evolve around it. Really, really nice. That it didn't move from that root note, but everything else around it did. That bit. Dibba 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 dibba. Bass line. And those sweepy pads, the chords, everything else is moving and progressing around that static point, which is where you will get solidity in a track. Take that away and it makes the track less stable. So there should be always something in your track that is a constant, something that can anchor the rest of the tune to it. And pulls it all in. Like subconsciously, you will kind of focus in on that, and it allows you then to kind of like play with the other elements, if that makes sense. Like the proverbial rug that ties the room together. Yeah. Whatever words we want to try and describe, music with words. Who sang that? It's only words, and words are all I have to take your heart away. Fucking Ronan Keating, baby. Oh my God. And then they'd always do the all important key change. They'd be sat on the stools, tapping a toe tapping, and then there'd be a little thigh slap. Words. And then there'd be all important key change, and then they'd stand up. And then all the like middle-aged women would be like, ah! I love you so much, Monica. Ah! Lose their tiny minds. Sorry. It's true though. It's true. And they did it they did it over and over again. Every time. But yeah. So yeah, it's good to have a constant in your track. It's good to have something that we can all toe tap and thigh slap along to together. Can you all please go and follow the Ruff, mate? Yeah, I really, really did like this tune. It was awesome. It was awesome. Really nice. It put me in the mood of like, it was very Cafe Del Mar as well. Cafe Del Mar is actually another tune that does that. The dun 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 dun. If you listen to that tune, it does that all the way through and it does not stop. But then the rest of the track, as in this one, evolves around that constant. So yeah, that is something that I spotted in this track straight away, was that wonderful arpeggiated synth. So I've been to the chiropractors today, so I'm a little bit crunchy. Yeah, it's just inspiring stuff. So yeah, thank you for sending it in, mate. Next up, do you know he got 3 big knots out of my neck today, which was great. I went to the gym this morning, did my kettlebells, did my run, and it's been 6 weeks since I've last been to see my chiropractor. I don't need to go that often. I don't leave it more than 6 weeks. And he got some really good cracks out of my back and my neck. So there's nothing wrong with my skeleton, I call it. But I just like to have it moved around just so it doesn't get stuck. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? I know people are a little bit divided on chiropractors, but I really like mine. I like how it feels afterwards. It's nice. The Stability Melody is like the host of a game changer. It's been here the whole time. I love that. I love that. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for all the new follows. Thank you for all the new follows. Yeah, there's something about getting your head cracked that I find really cool. Like, you know, when you watch it, I watch a lot of chiropractors on YouTube shorts and stuff, and like, I just love like, because you can feel the relief for that person. And I'm the same with like, I haven't watched him for ages, but you know, like Dr. Pimple Popper. Oh, yes. And also the ones where they've got like all the earwax from out the ears and they put the little endoscope cameras to, I love them. Just because I have to watch it to the end and it has to be satisfying because you can just feel the relief that person must be feeling after that. And then the other one that I used to watch a lot was the cows with ulcers. And then they would just drain them. Like, it's crazy. And then the hooves, where they take out all of the muck and they clip the hooves and stuff, and like they shave it down. Like, oh my God, I love that kind of stuff. But yeah, because you just know that they will feel better from that. So yeah, those are the things I like to watch. Guy won't let me. I keep saying to Guy, Guy gets really dark earwax. I don't get any earwax at all, which is actually not good. You should have earwax because it protects your ears. I don't get hardly any ever. And he gets really dark, big thingies of like earwax. And he's got one of those twisty things that I bought him where you twist it and it'll twist it and it'll bring it all out. And I'm like, oh, come on, let me do it. He's like, no, because he's from Hull. So he says, no, instead of no. No, don't do that. He won't let me do it. And then but he'll do it when I'm not around. And they'll be like, oh, I've got loads of stuff out my ears. I go, why won't you let me be there? Like, why do you do this without me being around? It's not fair. Yeah. Why is it bad we don't get earwax? Okay, so from my understanding, it's because earwax will be protecting your ear. So if you're listening to loud music, or say if you wear your headphones a bit too much, your ears will start to produce more earwax because it's protecting it from the noise, from the sound, from the... Yeah, I don't get hardly, and I think it's just some people just don't. But I do have tinnitus as well, so... Who's that? Oh, hello, you. We're just talking about you. We're talking about your earwax. I would love some, yeah. Yeah, bring it down, because I've got quite a long show tonight. Yeah, just bring it down here. Thank you. Oh, he's making me chicken noodle soup. I'll let him off. Aw. Oh, Tony can get loads. Can you please send me a video of that? Is that all right? Is that a bit weird? Could you just get someone to film it? And just, I'd love to just look at it when it was happening. I'd love that. I really would. I know. Is that weird? Come on, it can't be that weird because there's videos. Shut up. You're a weirdo. There's videos of it on YouTube though. Like, honestly, like if you see the ones where they've packed it in over time, and I'm not going to carry on. We've got songs to listen to. I'm not here for that. So now we're going to listen to Paranormal Ceazar, and this is a track called Raise Her. Not razor. Not like a shaving, raise her, like raise her up. Wow. Paranormal, Ceazar, and Raise Her. I loved this. I loved it. It was really, really authentic, really different, breaksy, with a bit of like the re-spacey bassline kind of feel to it. Kind of modern, but also with a really cool 90s kind of twist to it. It's yeah, it was all. Yeah, oh, breaks is awesome. I've loved making break stuff. I made a remix of one of my hard trance tunes, breaks remix of it. It's really fun. It's a really fun genre. Glitch hop as well is quite fun as well. But yeah, it's good to do a track in a genre that you don't normally do music in as well, because it gets you out of your normal habits. And there isn't any history with that genre, so generally we don't critique the ideas as much as we would do with a genre that we're more familiar with. So it's kind of like, yeah, go and check out Glitch Hop. You'll love it. Glitch Hop's cool. It's very skippy. It's very shuffly. I think it's like a six beats. Triplets. Skippy. Not the kangaroo. But yeah, go and check out Glitch Hop if you haven't already heard of it. Guy, my other half, he's made some glitch. Glitch Hop is an electronic music subgenre blending hip-hop, dubstep and the glitch aesthetic, characterised by its use of chopped-up samples, stuttering rhythms, distorted bass lines and syncopated patterns to create a human and intricate sound. It emerged in the mid to late 1990s and is known for its unpredictable, glitchy effects and a tempo often around 110 BPM. Yeah. The deliberate use of digital artifacts, track skipping and distortions to create a unique sonic texture. Yeah, it's Glitch Hop's lovely. It's really fun. It is really fun. So it's evolved to incorporate elements of electronic dance music and dubstep with subgenres like neurohop, adding dark, intricate bass lines inspired by neurofunk drum and bass. Yeah, it's cool. I believe Daft Punk had some of that on Homework. Awesome. Yeah, I'm really glad that I brought that up. If you've not heard of Glitch Hop, you're gonna love it. Yeah, and just see what you think of it. It's a very fun genre. But yeah, getting back to your tune, I really liked this. Really liked it. It was I could almost see this on like a racing game. You know, like the old Wipeout kind of stuff. This would be brilliant as like a race on a racing game, like gaming music kind of thing. I really liked it. I think this is the first time you've sent in a track as well, which is awesome, and I hope that you send in more, because I'm very interested in your music. I like this. Guys, please go and follow Paranormal Ceazar. I love the name as well, Paranormal Ceazar. That's awesome. Yeah, please do. Make sure you send in more. Cool. Yeah, thank you. I really need a wee. And I just said to my daughter I didn't need one, and now I do. Oh, it sucks being over 40. I'm going to put on Gav's tune very quickly go for a wee while it's on. I have already listened to this earlier, but I'm going to put it on now because I don't want my kidneys to fail. Okay, so this is Anyma, The Light, Gav Crayton, Rework. You've got your next release already made. Yes! Yes! Yeah, make sure you keep sending them in, mate. That was awesome. Thank you. go. That is Anyma the Light Gav Crayton remix. Yeah, like I said earlier on, I've already listened to this previous to starting the show. When setting up, it's an awesome remix. It reminds me so much of like the old tech trance stuff that I used to buy and play a lot, like the Brian Kearney stuff. Some of the John O'Callaghan stuff from back then as well. Yeah, I miss tech trance as well. It's definitely got, you know, that oomph to it, and that feel. It really could literally just be from that era. Simon Patterson, yes, Postman Patterson, yeah. It could be straight from out of that era. But obviously with it being this remix, it's very, very bang up to date as well. I loved it, and I think that the like sonically everything sounds really balanced. I can see that you've had Mark Sherry master it, which is awesome. Yeah, I really like it. I really, really like it. I don't know if I've got your. You didn't send me your thingammy bobs. Ah, you did. I found it. I found your SoundCloud. So this is Gav's SoundCloud. Please go and give him a follow if you like what you're hearing. He's awesome. I'm so proud of you, mate. Yes, it reminds me of the Christoph Choclo style. I can't say his name, but Lord Philivus, I am so happy that you've mentioned that person, because I've got a lot of their stuff from that era. Yeah. Is he still making stuff? I hope so. Look at my computer now. Probably going to take ages because it has to re-index my F drive every time I put it back on my PC, because I've got an external drive, so the indexing takes like at least 10 minutes. But yeah, he's awesome. I hope he's still doing stuff. Yeah. All of that era was amazing. Yeah, Mark Sherry's amazing at mastering. All of the Outburst stuff. He actually engineered my track called Always years and years ago. He's brilliant. It's a whole other level, isn't it, when you start doing mastering and stuff. Oh, someone's coming down the stairs. He said, do you want a fork?
Yeah, because I gave you a spoon.
Oh, a fork.
I gave you a spoon.
Thank you. Thanks for giving me a fork. He's just come down to give me a fork. Guy Fawkes Day. Nice. Brilliant. Legend. I don't even need one. I'm fine with the spoon. It's because it's got lots of like stuff in it. It's like a soup, but it's more like a pot noodle. Fork off. Oh, now I've just got extra utensils that I don't need. Never mind. YouTube says there's a Christoph Choclo set from 5 months ago. Nice. Oh, that's promising. Thank you, Fat Man. Yeah, that's promising. Good. Because the thing is, sometimes people start using different names, don't they? And then we don't know what they're doing. Umek was another one. Excuse me, Umek. I know Umek's still doing stuff. I used to play a lot of his stuff. And Omega Drive. I remembered. Well done. Well done. Omega Drive as well. I used to play a lot of his stuff. Have you had 2 pot noodles today, Alfonso? That's awesome. Cool. But yeah, this track reminds me very much of that era of the tech trance stuff. Those people are more kind of like the what do they call, the cool kids call it hard groove now. Funky techno, I would have called it, or groovy techno. But yeah, really, really nice. Looks like it goes by DJ KC now. Really? There we go. Mystery solved. I love hard groove. How good is hard groove? It's the best. So if you've had 2 pot noodles, what's the saying? You have a pot noodle and a wank, isn't it? I don't need to know, by the way, but that's just like something that, it's like a saying, isn't it? Such full and rich percussion, yes. Yeah. Hard groove is great because it's kind of like, it reminds me a bit of like acid techno as well, because it's got the movement in the bass line, which I need, quite frankly, in my life. I shouldn't goad you lot, because then I'll get distracted even more. Wank to pot noodle ratio is definitely wrong in my house. Right, next up we've got a track by Caustic and Marty Riggs, and this is called Letting It Flow. Okay, first of all, really, really like the little percussive noises in this. Just those little touches mean the world to me, because like we were talking about earlier, it means that you've spent a lot of time going back and forth, putting in the little details. Like, it means the world. I think a lot of it is to do with not necessarily even liking that from being a producer as well, but I need those things in order to mix well as a DJ. So I need something that's specifically different in the percussion from one tune to the other, because then that's my anchor and I know which track's drifting in and out. So, and also, you know, when years ago, you would know the track by the percussion, wouldn't you? Before you'd even like heard the main part of the track. So I really do appreciate a track with interesting one shots in the percussive elements. It's something that I don't do enough myself of. But it's a great reminder when I listen to other people's tracks, and I'm like, because sometimes I then like, oh, I can hear it too much, but it's just because I'm focusing in on it. But yeah, I like that about it. The other thing, I want to just go back to the beginning of it. So there's something I really liked about After the Drop. Now, this is something that I find I do a lot in my own production. I always prefer After the Drop than the beginning. I think that there's something in the beginning of the track, in the intro and the bit where the bass is coming in initially, that is stopping it from being as clean and as clear as it is after the drop. I'm not sure, but that's my... So this is the beginning. Mix down wise, that acid needs to come forward a bit. It's too far back. I want that louder. And then after the break, after the breakdown on the drop, we've got... This bit sounds clearer to me than the beginning. Does anyone else think that? This needs to be in the beginning bit as well. So this is after the break. That and that bass line progression, that needs to be at the beginning, but the beginning we just flat. It's just flat, which is fine, but there's something about the second half that sounds clearer. So I think what it is, you've got some kind of loop in there that's just messing it up ever so slightly. I don't know what it is, but the person that's made it will know what is in there. But it just sounds clearer to me on that second half. So there's something in that first bit that's just making it sound a little bit too muddy, a little bit too chaotic. But from that drop, it's just awesome. Like, all that's great. This lead is gorgeous. This is the USP, this part here. Whatever is in here, in this little section on the project, as in the percussion, only have that. Don't have any of the other stuff, because there's too many things in at the beginning of it. Whatever is in here now, it's giving you enough space for all of the elements to come through, and it's got that energy. Yeah, good tune. Really, really good tune. Really good tune. Just needs a couple of tweaks. In my opinion, I don't need to even listen to me at all. But that would be what I would do. I would like the 303 to be louder. And that's something that I can sometimes do myself. I'll set it back a little bit. But no, the 303 needs its time. It's like a singer. You know, it needs to have its moment. So give it its moment. Let it be forward. Let it be. Don't. You know, shall filter it out a little bit. Like have it meaty. Have it there. Have it front and center. And then I would look at some of the percussive elements that are in that might just be making it a little bit muddy, a little less clear than it was on certain parts of it. But yeah, yay! And if you guys want to go and follow Caustic, I have Caustic's thingamy-bob. There we go. And now we've got DJ Campbell, of all people, and this is Church of Bounce. Yeah, this is my favourite one ever. How great. I mean, I love the original anyway, but that is so well made. You know, it's, I was going to say for a bounce tune, and my reason for saying for a bounce tune is because bounce is very formulaic because it's bounce. But this is a cut above. It's awesome. Absolutely amazing. I would like to know, I know Campbell's, I don't think Campbell's in at the moment, but I'd like to know if those, you know, the church choir, oohs, ahs, if that was like another, like a played in again using, you know, a preset or whatever, or if it was like from the original, because it sounds too clean to be ripped as stems, but then again, the technology for that's got really good now. Or if it was all like all like done again from scratch. That's what I'd like to know. Because it just sounds it sounds really good, really really good, and the tension, the build up as well of that breakdown into the drop. Again, as we are used to hearing from DJ Campbell, it's kind of like one of his staple things that he does. But that's just amazing. And if you guys can please go and give him a follow. Yeah. Awesome. Hello, Mama T. I did see that you were in. Yeah, what a great tune, and a great tune to end on. Did I say that already? I can't remember. Wow. I'm gonna have to go and sit in a dark room now and finish my pot noodle. Ah!